Hey guys, welcome back to another What If. Today we're doing part 22 to What If Kurama's chakra turns Naruto into a female, countdown to war. So there was at least 2 to 3 parts left into the series before it ends, with obviously at the end of Naruto's Shippuden. Anyway, if you know what happened in the last part, there'll be a link in the description down below. May take you to a playlist where you can watch all the previous parts in order from 1 to the current part 22. With that out of the way, let's get into this. The month or so, however long it had taken Naruto and Canon to train in the Sage mode, though Naruto, instead of learning Toad Sage mode, he or she would be learning the Fox Sage mode. She'll be becoming the first Fox Sage mode that the Fox / Kitchen summons have ever had. During that training period as well, she had grown her 8th tail, which meant she only had 1 more tail left, with Kurama somewhat marking that it could take up to a year for that single tail for her to appear, if not 2. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, and of course, though back in Konoha, the Pain's Assault would of course start after the month or so, and Tsunade would somewhat obviously tell the small red fox that she'd been looking after since Naruto herself had left. She'd tell it to reverse summon itself to go tell Naruto so that she can come back and somewhat aid in protecting Konoha from the pain or the 6 paths. They would the small fox would just nod and would thus disappear in a puff of smoke. Though aside from that point onwards, most of Konoha's destruction would go down the same. The only thing changing is that there'd be somewhat less deaths. One critical death being averted, which would be Kakashi. Kakashi, of course, being a lot stronger in this one than Canon, due to his obviously training beforehand, his somewhat kind of him somewhat taking a greater interest in training his team in Naruto, thus meaning that he's actually somewhat stronger. Thus, yeah, it'd be, of course, he'd have insane chakra exhaustion, but he would survive with chakra somewhat healing him. Anyway, though Naruto would somewhat arrive late and would somewhat turn off the somewhat giant, the 2 giant, somewhat 2-3 giant fox, say 2 to 3 giant foxes. You'd somewhat tell the somewhat one that you standing on off, as that one had somewhat mentioned that should somewhat wait at least a little bit. And yeah, anyway, though they would somewhat start to attack, and the fight, the pain with obviously her being back now, would go somewhat like in Canon, though she'd only start using Sage mode, Fox Sage mode, once she would then, once she'd end up kind of against the path pain that could absorb chakra, could somewhat end up telling her, it would end up somewhat slightly obviously changing as it would try and absorb obviously her chakra, and of course it would end up somewhat changing slightly due to her chakra being Kitsu, Tail Beast chakra, pretty much. And yeah, Kurama somewhat noticing that, Naruto not so much, as she's more in a battle somewhat mind state. Kurama would sort of end up telling her that that he's going to start pulling in nature energy so that she could start using Sage Jutsu. She would immediately ask why, and Kurama would immediately state that the path that it was that was absorbing chakra. So tell her that remember that nature energy, when absorbed into someone that's not a sage, will turn them into stone. And of course, being a fox sage, the person would end up turning into a fox stone statue. And I don't go, oh right. And yeah, that would somewhat end up happening. Of course, you'd also end up having, you know, a like Tatsuya on her as well. Yeah, smart that would obviously give her that. Anyway, the fight, yeah. The I guess main pain, the one that's somewhat so-called, the somewhat leaderish, the somewhat 6 paths of pain there, would end up eventually somewhat destroyed. Obviously, majority of them, and it's just him left, would end up doing the planetary devastation. I think that's it, or whatever it's called. Where you'd end up trapping Naruto into, trapping her into the somewhat the sphere. She'd somewhat end up, she'd end up pulling on her own chakra. She'd end up transforming into her fox form, her 8-tailed fox form, as well. She could try to get, use Kurama's chakra. The seal was annoyingly stuck at the was only stuck at the 5th tail for Kurama, which was very much annoying. And the only way to get past that was to overload the seal, which would cause it to somewhat obviously degrade / break, and not knowing how to repair it. Yeah, she'd just have to somewhat hoping, or at least she's somewhat hoping that it will slowly somewhat obviously let her use more chakra, though it wouldn't. Anyway, she'd end up entering her 8-tailed fox state, and would just somewhat like in canon would end up ripping out of it and somewhat jumping down and somewhat managing to drag the path of pain outside of Konoha. That should end up reverting back still in her fox, still in somewhat sage mode, and the Tatsuya slug part of Tatsuya would obviously still be there, witnessing it. The fight Naruto, once she'd end up destroying it, would obviously somewhat find the real pain. I forgot his name. And he'd end up finding Naruto in Conan's position. From there, she'd then somewhat obviously head out somewhat like and can find them, and then pretty much somewhat go down roughly like in canon. Though Naruto would end up telling Conan somewhat quietly to give her the eyes of the Sage 6 paths once he dies. She would ask if he was sure, and he would nod, stating that she's the one that will bring peace to the world, true peace. She would end up somewhat nodding, and he would somewhat rattle, because Naruto would then do the jutsu to resurrect everyone that he'd killed, or everyone that had died in his somewhat attack of Konoha. Yeah. So from there, he'd end up somewhat dying, and Conan would end up knocking before Nato could speak or say anything more. Nato would end up, Conan would somewhat take Nato by surprise and would knock her out. With her somewhat out, Conan will then take somewhat the Rinnegan from Nagito and would pull out Nato's eyes and put in the Rinnegan. She'd somewhat roughly kind of get the connections right, though frankly her own body and Kurama's chakra was already quickly putting all the connections in the right place. Once you got one connection, the rest were quickly repairing themselves and connecting them to the right connectors. And yeah, Conan would then somewhat obviously destroy Nato's own eyes and would then take and then somewhat leave after those who'd write a quick note and somewhat a bouquet of flowers, paper flowers, and would leave. The fox obviously sensing the Sage Six Path's eyes, the Rinnegan in Nato's eye sockets would end up somewhat knowing, obviously listening to what had happened, because we cannot see now because she was knocked out. But yeah, though he'd somewhat though he found, he was somewhat a bit slightly worried because he knew the second obviously everyone saw the Rinnegan, they'd start asking how enough she'd go, but thankfully the second all the healing was done, her own chakra had somewhat because her own chakra being somewhat held beast, the eyes had somewhat ended up somewhat changing to being violet slit like, thus hiding the fact that she had the Rinnegan from pretty much everyone, and Kurama himself would somewhat decide to keep it quiet up until a point in time where it was very much needed. And yeah, from there she would end up, of course, waking up to being in the forest, but would wonder what on earth happened, as she'd somewhat hold her head. Trying to tell her that she just somewhat the Conan person had somewhat knocked out so that she can end up dragging her back, probably to Konoha, or that, like, she may have thought you may have done, because lying. Naruto just somewhat sigh a bit, but would just nod and would read the note, which would just state sorry for knocking you out, and that the flowers were for some drier. She would Nato just somewhat blow a sigh, but would pick up the flowers and would walk over, would somewhat walk off and into the direction of Dry, where she made Dry's grave, and would then put the flowers down before heading out towards Konoha, though she'd end up somewhat slightly wobbling due to the extreme amount of chakra loss she'd, not extreme loss, but just the sheer amount she'd been gone through that, and the fact her eyes strangely feel like they're on sort of fire and they feel slightly uncomfortable and all of that, and yeah, she wasn't feeling kind of a-okay at the moment, so she'd end up somewhat just, though she'd just about catch herself, though Kashi would somewhat greet her and would somewhat hoist her onto his back, which she'd somewhat remark like this was somewhat embarrassing, though Kashi just snorted, and yes, they'd somewhat Kashi obviously bring Naruto back to Konoha, where the villagers and the Lucky 11 would end up greeting them, and with somewhat obviously called Naruto the somewhat like the savior of Konoha or whatever. Yeah, she'd end up being called obviously the hero of the hidden leaf village, and that people would say. And yeah, though doing all goes the way back, Naruto somewhat had asked Kurama if she should hide his intel, although Kurama had somewhat snort, and he'd say that was a bit too late, kid, as Kurama somewhat reminder that she transformed into a giant eight-tailed somewhat fox, and obviously to break out the plan devastation, and everyone in Konoha had saw her, so there was 0 point, and of course, once obviously she'd end up being thrown up and down, people would yell at that she was Konoha, that she was the hero of the hidden leaf village, and even somewhat Konoha's violet kitsune. And yeah, she didn't of course know really how to sort of react to it, though one thing was for sure, she just really wanted to get into bed, though with everything somewhat being destroyed in that, she'd end up seemingly just transforming into somewhat her fox form, though instead of it being giant, she'd transform into a small, somewhat wind-held fox, and would just somewhat go off silently and quietly somewhere, and would just curl up and go to sleep as she was just incredibly tired, aching, and some of her eyes and that felt incredibly painful. So yeah, next day, she'd of course end up waking up, and end up just walking through Konoha with 8 beautiful violet tails, just somewhat swaying gently behind her. And yeah, obviously people had somewhat bound to her, and she didn't really know obviously how to react to that. Though from there on, Abu would end up dropping down and somewhat go Nato Uzumaki, the council wishes to speak to you. She just nodded, and they would sunshine away. They'd arrive rather they were holding the summit to find the next possible Hokage. She'd walk in, and though obviously they would somewhat tell her that they were would ask if she'd somewhat want to be the 6th Hokage, though she'd somewhat decline, and she'd ask how comes, they were looking for the 6th, like what happened to Tsunade, as she didn't quite know yet. The elders went out telling her that Tsunade was currently in a coma, and would be a bit shocked, but would just nod. She just asked how comes they can't just wait for her to come out of it. And after a bit more talking, she'd then state, though she'd state, while I still don't think I should become Hokage, though if you're looking for a temporary Hokage until Tsunade can till she wakes up, though. And the elders would then retort that that's if she wakes up. From that, would state that she's been through worse, as they would simply state how, and that would think back and retort that she had taken a sword straight to the heart, and then went on from there to pretty much fight Orochimaru. And yeah, so she's probably just she'll probably end up waking up in the next month or so. Yeah. And that until then, they should just appoint who should feel more, or at least who more felt right to lead the village. Should someone state that. If you're looking for a temporary Hokage, then why not Kakashi? And the five daimyo, before the council could somewhat end up trying to either argue or that, the five daimyo would somewhat nod and would somewhat ask her if she could go and get him. She would nod, and a minute or so later she would reappear in the council chambers, wherever it is, and the five daimyo would end up telling Kakashi that he was the temporary Hokage until Tsunade Senju awakes from her coma. Kakashi would nod and would ask what if she ends up dying or that, or never waking up. Then the five daimyo would state that if she doesn't wake up in the next 2 or so months, that Kakashi would be appointed the 6th Hokage. Kakashi would be a bit shocked. Be somewhat shocked, but would nod at that. From he'd then somewhat ask if there was anything else that needed to be talked about to the council. Would shake the head, saying no. Danzo would of course be unhappy with this, as he wanted to become the next Hokage. And so they'd somewhat end up leaving. Kakashi would somewhat, when they'd leave and start walking, and after a while Kakashi would somewhat turn to her and would somewhat tell her that any time, somewhat say he has to leave the village, talk to either say like another, obviously like Kage, the Kazakage, or one of those reasons or that he was appointing her his guard anytime he leaves Konoha. Should also somewhat, and should be a bit shocked and ask why her, and that isn't that anyone else more qualified. And Kakashi would point out that she's an S rank, if not double S rank shinobi. And that, along with the fact she's also some like Kitsune / tailed beast that can obviously do a tailed beast bomb, which she'd end up blushing, forgetting what her actual shinobi rank is. She may be joining, but she just somewhat end up just nodding at that, as Kakashi very much truly obviously trusted her with his life. From there, however long would go by as the 5 Kage Summit would come. I'm not sure who would. I think it was the Rei Kage that I'd called the 5 Kage Summit. And and of course, due to the fact Kakashi would be outside the village, Kakashi had thus called upon Naruto to come to obviously be his backup in that. And of course, prior to that, a day or so before that, she'd ended up being reverse summoned to Mount Miyaboku, where they'd end up telling her somewhat about obviously the key to the ceiling, that now that drive was dead, the key would be given to her. And she was just somewhat thinking, finally, that she could somewhat finally just somewhat unlock the seal, or kind of loosen the seal enough even more so that she could start training the 6th, something like the 6th and then 7th, 8th, and hopefully the 9th. No, it's like chakra, 9 tails. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Though, anyway, so I ended up going to the 5th Kage summit, and of course, talks would obviously somewhat start happening. Then obviously Sasuke would somewhat stupidly somewhat obviously, Sasuke, his group, and Obito, aka the Masked Man / the self-proclaimed Madara Uchiha, would somewhat attack them. Though Sasuke would obviously somewhat start attacking them, and that Danzo for his part would actually leave Konoha with some of his Anbu to try and kill, say, Kakashi and maybe even Naruto, to make it look like the Kage had somewhat killed him to start a war so that he could be promoted to Hokage. And yeah, though with obviously everyone that was there, Sasuke would somewhat end up having to somewhat retreat, and and yeah, though Karui, Karui, Kaori, would obviously end up somewhat trying to demand any information that they had on obviously Sasuke and that, because they obviously they wanted to go and get their sensei back, Killer B, which had been somewhat obviously taken, though he had just faked his own death pretty much. So obviously Killer B was still very much alive from that. Anyway, the person would end up somewhat naming, he would would go to name Konoha or Kakashi the somewhat lead of the somewhat allied shinobi scenario somewhat forces, as Obito, the Masked Man / the self-proclaimed Madara, had somewhat declared war on the 5 shinobi nations, the 5 great shinobi nations, and then declared the 4th shinobi war. Yeah, obviously with that, then they'd somewhat ended up saying that Konoha should be the supreme leader, though Kakashi somewhat stated that he didn't feel that was somewhat kind of right, and Naruto somewhat end up stating herself that she believed that Gaara would somewhat make that maybe Gaara would, though Gaara would end up declining it and telling that Konoha would be the best. After all, they'd somewhat ended up always winning had always won the past 3 shinobi wars, so they should be the one to lead this. And so they'd end up taking that position as the leader. And yeah, from there, Killer B would obviously end up showing himself to the Kage and that, calming him down, and they'd obviously realise that obviously they didn't, and heck, they would even somewhat remember that Gaara was still alive, so the only ones they had were the shinobi that were the tailed beasts that were outside of some village. So thankfully they had the one tails, the two tails. Gaara could somewhat control, Gaara, or at least Shikaku, somewhat strangely, was now starting to work with Gaara, since obviously, somewhat since this information on the fact that they'd gotten some of his brothers and some sisters. They'd still also have, obviously, I can't remember her name, they'd somewhat, the Allied Shinobi Force would also have the two tails, and obviously they'd have the three tails sealed within Naruto herself, who she'd also had spoken to the three tails as well, and it said that as long as, that relationship was slowly getting better over time. Anyway, so they had the one tails, two tails, three, not quite sure from four, that though they definitely had obviously seven, because that was Fu, 8, Killer B, though why they tried going after, the two strongest hell beasts when they had very little people left was beyond them. But yeah, and they had the 8 and of course 9 tails. Well, they had, one 9 tails and in a way 2 8 tails, one being the true 8 tails, that being Yuki, and obviously Naruto herself being an 8-tailed Kitsune. And and when they'd get back to Konoha, they'd somewhat end up learning that Donzo Shimura had somewhat disappeared. They'd end up Kakashi would somewhat end obviously them to somewhat start looking for him, and would go and turn on to Naruto and would somewhat tell her to obviously go and look for him as well. She would, and after a while, somewhat, though, she and some shinobi from the Inazuki clan, somewhat with her, would end up finding the body of Shimura Danzo Shimura dead. Yeah, they would end up going back to obviously Konoha the fast way, in other words, with Naruto transforming into an 8-tailed form, and fast way back. And they would end up obviously telling Kakashi, and just as they would tell Kakashi, Sakura would burst into the somewhat recently finished construction Hokage, newly somewhat built Hokage Tower. Would somewhat end up somewhat stating that Tsunade was the temporary Hokage place as the tower was being built. She'd end up bursting in saying that Tsunade was awake, and they would end up somewhat going to her, and Kakashi would somewhat end up telling her to her, and would somewhat state once they leave Tsunade that could she go to the obviously Fire Capital and tell the Fire Daimyo that the fourth Hokage Tsunade Senju was awake and would be returning as the fourth Hokage. Well, fifth Hokage, not fourth. Naruto would nod, and after speaking with Tsunade and catching her up that the fourth Shinobi War had somewhat been declared, and they would also somewhat obviously tell her that also Sasuke, or at least that Itachi Chiha was also. Was she work with that? I don't know. Maybe, I think so. Yeah, I think she was working with that, so she would know Itachi was dead and that. And yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah. After she'd been caught up, they would then. Yeah, she then. And in Naruto would obviously somewhere. They'd then leave, and she just needed to obviously eat and recover her some chakra and that. Yeah, and after it then someone tell her that she would probably be back in 2 to 3 hours or so. You can actually nod as the 5 times you may obviously talk to her a bit more. Anyway. And yeah, from there she ends up obviously somewhat leaving, somewhat calling her, transforming into a somewhat somewhat from 8-tailed fox form, and run towards in the direction of the fire capital. And say 5, 10, 15 minutes later she'd end up arriving, transforming into a kitten state, and then pulling in her ears and tails, and would end up somewhat going and meeting up with the fire daimyo, who have obviously somewhat telling him that the 5th Hokage Tsunade Senju was awake in that. And yeah, they would indeed talk about some other things, like the clouds of the 4th Shinobi War, and that it would be a war unlike any other. It was a war on the 5 great shinobi villages. And yeah, he just somewhat nodded and thank her obviously for keeping him somewhat in the loop with things. She just nodded and say that it was no problem, and she'd say that she'd now somewhat obviously leave to go back to Konoha to prepare for the 4th Shinobi War. He'd nod and she'd end up obviously going back to Konoha. And with that, guys, I'm going to leave it here. So the next part will probably go through her training period on somewhat mastering Kurama's chakra, and then the start of the 4th Shinobi World War. And yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed this, tell me in the comments down below. And yeah, guys, anyway, stay safe, have a good day or night, or whatever you are, whenever you're watching this, and good bye.